Welcome everyone. Welcome Dilip, Arjun, Philip, and Gulshan. Welcome.
Thank you,
and of
Lynn.
course, welcome everyone online as well. So that music that we were listening to as our introduction and calming ourselves down and getting in the zone, so to speak. So there, we've mentioned before, Gulshan, that different ragas resonate with different energy centers, and the extension of that is the three great mantras that we just heard, which is resonates with the top energy center where we get our self-realization. So that's always a good place to start for your meditation as well. So we mentioned self-realization, and we were talking a little bit earlier about what is self-realization. Gulshan, do you want to share that with everyone, what you feel?
I try my best. There are lots of there's lots of different and some very interesting explanations about self-realization in Sahaja Yoga, and what I've learned from Shri Mataji. It is about us realizing that we all have a spirit within us, awakening that spirit and letting that spirit connect with the all-pervading energy that made us. But to do that, you have to actually be connected, and the connection only happens through our Sahasrara, and that is when once the Kundalini rises and connects through this, that's when we get our realization, which interestingly is not a new thing. It's a very old, ancient way of communicating or connecting to that special energy.
We were talking earlier about in different religions that energies called different things. So, but I guess the difference is that now in this age you can actually get connected to that energy. Or do you think in the different religions it was talked about as a connected energy?
They talked about it a lot, and they tried to teach people about doing the right thing at that time in their lives, to be in balance, to try and forgive, or try and not be aggressive. So try and mold their personalities, but that quite wasn't very successful because they couldn't feel it.
So what we did as humanity is made different religions out of those incarnations or saints who were on earth around that time, trying to show us how to be better people.
That's right.
So we made a religion out of them and forgot about them and the actual teachings.
We forgot about the essence that they were trying to teach us about. And that's why when Shri Mataji arrived and she decided that, trying to talk at us is not going to work. So she gives realization the first thing at every program, and that by which we are connected straight away, so you can feel the impact, the connection within yourself straight away.
And so many of us have had that self-realization, and those of you online as well. The next step, of course, is to strengthen that realization. And also, if there's anyone online who this is a new subject too, don't worry, we're going to go through that realization, self-realization, and get you up to speed, so to speak.
Yes.
But it's always good to kind of try and clarify in our own mind what it is.
And there's, sorry.
No, I was going to ask Vara for his definition of self-realization.
I think Gulshan stole my thunder. It's very simple. I mean, so if you take the Advaita philosophy, it's very philosophical.
What exactly is the Advaita?
So it says there is Atma. Atma is the spirit, and then Paramatma is the all-pervading spirit from God. So when our Atma connects to Paramatma, that's when the union happens, which is self-realization.
Wow.
And they have treatises of this written, and it used to be for only select few. Like Gulshan was saying, Shri Mataji was, when she came, game changer, as they say.
Yeah. So, Arjun, you familiar with the Advaita, or Atma and Paramatma?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Emmanuel, you too? Okay, that's nice.
And the interesting thing is that with these things, they tried to talk about it and they tried to tell human beings at that time about all these things, but because they're just words, and sometimes our thinking and our ego doesn't quite have the humility to accept the words. So the experience was what Shri Mataji thought would be the best way to get us to realize the enormous gift that she's created for mankind. And not just that, but also it's a next jump in our evolution. We were sort of all stuck here at the moment, thinking, planning, organizing, worrying, reacting.
Yeah, and even thinking, have I really got my self-realization? Or what does it really mean?
So you feel it on your hands.
Really
the proof
destroy
is that
your...
you feel the realization on your hands, within yourself, on top of you.
I guess that's the thing we need to remind ourselves of, that we have to feel it, not think about it, even think, oh, how did I feel when I did that? Even that's still thinking about it, is still not the feeling of it.
Yeah. But the experience stays with you. When you feel it, the experience always stays with you. I remember feeling the first time when I actually felt really beautifully cool on top of my head. It was not something I could describe in words. It was just something you feel so profoundly beautiful within yourself. And that's the feeling that often stays with us decades later when you're...
I remember my first feeling was just this, my heart opened a lot, and I just felt this love, and that was more profound for me than actually... I didn't quite give importance to the fact that I wasn't thinking so much, but it was just that heartfelt.
Yeah.
I guess we should feel it again.
Shall we experiment with it again?
So, if it is your first time online, don't worry. So what we're going to do is take our attention inside, and we'll do that by just asking ourselves certain questions and answering those questions, basically. So we're going to direct our attention, not as opposed to our thinking, towards our Kundalini energy, which is called, because it's a coil. That word Kundalini is Sanskrit for coil, which resides in everyone. And the more we invoke and encourage our Kundalini to rise up through our central nervous system, the more the coils unfold. So it's always the worthwhile thing to go through the whole thing. We do have a shortcut for you, which many of you have already learnt, of course, but it's always nice to go through it all. And together, as you were saying before, Arjun, it's a strong experience when we're all together. The physical connection is very strong.
And it's just not for you, for us too. It's actually quite strong here when we're together.
It is. And that's the thing we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, that it's a collective.
Yeah.
So, we all feel it together. And, that saying that I'm in you and you're in me. I think it's a song. But so we will technically use our hands, so we're not thinking about it. We'll sit comfortably. We've got our shoes off. If you haven't got shoes off, feel free to take them off. And basically, we're just going to use our hands, our right hand on our left side. So we've also been talking a bit about having left sides and right sides. And this is happening in our central nervous system, in the centre between those two sides. And those two sides of our nature, as we've been mentioning quite a bit, is our past and our future, and we're constantly oscillating between those two. The other aspect of the left and right being our action and thinking, and the other being our emotion and feeling. And basically we want to go between those two extremes, and of course we will always be using our action and our feeling, but hopefully our action becomes more and more based on our pure desire, as opposed to any other crazy desire we're having that's come to us from social media or our conditions we've had from our families or anything that's been pressing on us that we feel we have to act on. So we're going to be our own masters and act from a good place. So basically, let's try and go into our good place. Welcome, welcome. And we will close our eyes, but, you know, whether you have your eyes open or closed is something for you to feel, in that if you close your eyes and suddenly you're finding yourself feeling very sleepy or and some thoughts are coming to you, you can open your eyes and you can look towards
it is
candle.
Yeah, it is lit.
And the photograph.
A lit candle,
which will just focus your attention more. On the other hand, if your eyes are open here and you find yourself looking around and wondering what's going on, then you would close your eyes to keep your attention inside. So everyone, being their own master, can decide whether their eyes are open or closed. But just for the minute, we'll show you how we're going to achieve this self-realization. We will be using our right hand and we'll be placing it at the level of different chakras, energy centers, on the left side. And I'll tell you exactly where. We'll go up to the neck and turn our head. We'll go up to the forehead, placing our head there. Potentially we'll also do the back of our head, but then the really good place is hands stretched out, and that center of your palm goes on the center of the top of your head. And if you bring your head a little bit forward, you can achieve that quite simply. And then massaging the scalp in a clockwise direction and just asking your own Atma to awaken and connect to the all-pervading energy, the universe. It is where we'll be going out of our mind, so to speak. So let's just take our attention inside. Just be aware of your breath. So always good to keep breathing. Your two hands are open on your lap to start. Just pay attention to the two hands open on your lap. Just be aware if they're a little bit cold or a little bit warm. If one of them is warm and one of them's cold. So let's start by taking our right hand on our heart. So this is the seat of our Atma, in our heart. So we're going to ask to ourselves, not out loud, but we're going to ask, am I the spirit, the Atma? Am I the Atma? We'll take the hand down just to the top of your stomach, just under the ribs. This is the upper part of your abdomen. And this is the center of our mastery of ourselves and our observation of the world. And the other question here is, am I master of my world? Am I my own master? Let's come down to the hip. So this is directly adjacent to where our spiritual energy, our mothering, nurturing energy resides, in this bone called sacrum bone at the base of our spine. And this is in everyone. And we're going to ask for our pure energy to be awakened. And we'll simply say, Mother Kundalini, please awaken and give me the pure knowledge of myself, pure knowledge and the pure desire. So you're really desiring from your heart for your nurturing, mothering energy to be awakened. As she rises up through the central channel, we can then go back up to the top of our stomach. And now we can affirm. So we'll take the affirmation that I am my own master. And let's go back up to the heart. Our affirmation here is that I am the Atma, the pure spirit. So we're not only identifying with our spirit, but we're connecting. So our mothering, nurturing energy, our Kundalini, is connecting us to our Atma. And now we'll go further up. We'll go up to the neck. We're just going to clear this space here. Here we block it up a bit if we feel guilty about things. So in reviewing ourselves, we often wish we hadn't done something, hadn't said something, and we feel really guilty because we did this or said that. But we're not guilty because we're the Atma, we're the spirit. So we're going to simply clear this by saying, Mother, I am not guilty. Mother, I am not guilty. Just say that quite a few times to yourself. Surprising how often we load ourselves up with guilt. I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty. So all those things that we feel we've done wrong, we don't have to feel guilty and store them up here. We can just say to ourselves, oh, okay, that was the wrong thing. Next time I won't do that. I won't say that. Because I'm not that. I'm not guilty. Let it all go. Now let's come up to the forehead. So just resting the forehead in the palm of your hand. You can just drop it a little bit into your palm. And the key to get past our ego and our superego means the culmination of feeling guilty about stuff or feeling too proud about things is that we squash this center, but we can clear it and access that lovely divine place simply by forgiving. No need to think of anything in particular or anyone in particular. So we'll just say, Mother, I forgive everyone. I forgive everything. I forgive. And I forgive myself. A few more times. I forgive everyone, and I forgive myself. Let's take it from the back, the reverse as well. So you're tipping your head up and resting it in the palm of your hand from the back. You can take the affirmation that, Mother, if I've made any mistakes, please forgive me. If I've made any mistakes that I know of or don't know of, please forgive me. Should feel a lot lighter now in your head. Now stretching the palm. Let's take the center of the palm onto the center of the top of your head, that fontanelle area, the soft part of the top of your head when you're a baby. And pressing down, massaging the scalp in a clockwise direction. So it's going to the left and then forward. And here you really need to ask from your heart, Mother, please give me my self-realization. Here's where you get your connection to the Paramatma. To that all-pervading energy of divine. It's all around us. Now you're directly getting your connection. Now let's raise our hand and just see if you can feel that flow of your Kundalini coming out of the top of your head. So if you're feeling a bit of heat, that's also okay, because getting rid of any blockages, any of the restrictions on any of the centers just gets pushed out, and then it will go cool. So try and feel with the other hand. So you'll take the left hand up, bring it close, take it a little further away, and then just keep your attention wherever you feel that flow. Bring the two hands open in your lap. Feeling your breathing still happening. Noticing the hands as well now. Might be feeling cool. Don't worry if a thought comes, you can just brush it away. Not this thought, not now. Slowly opening your eyes. We'll continue with our meditation after a little while, but just for now, we'll listen to a lovely excerpt of a talk from Shri Mataji, of course, who's the founder of Sahaja Yoga, who we were mentioning earlier. I think we were online when we were mentioning it, that Shri Mataji has really taught us how to meditate, given us that connection. So now you all can pass it on to others, which is nice. But she's made lots and lots of talks. But we'll
and this is a particularly spectacular one because within the range of 8-10 minutes, Shri Mataji covers the explanation, and she is very good at what she does. But it is quite startling how beautifully she expresses it and teaches about also our chakras within us, which we can. Shall we hear it first and then go on?
And then and then we can do a deeper meditation. By clearing ourselves and bringing ourselves more into balance.
Yeah, that sounds great.
She also talks about deities and incarnations. our chakras, and mainly about the Sahasrara, this top chakra, being the integrating chakra.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
So it's quite interesting.
Yes, and this talk is particularly focused on the top chakra, which is what we meant to achieve, but also a little bit, there's a little bit of explanation about the deities that we have on our various energy centers within us. They're just the pure essence of that special quality that is present within us and within all of us, actually, but it's just awakened now with the with us getting our realization, if I was to use the proper term.
Yes, getting a realization, and the fact that once you get your realization, even just saying the name of one of those divine people can help open that particular chakra that they had dwell upon.
Yeah. And they all came at a certain time as mankind sort of evolved through our evolution as such, to teach us what right things to do, the protocol of our behavior. We did a good job at forgetting it all and making a mess of it in some ways. But it's good to have Shri Mataji back. So telling us all about it.
We can all become better.
Yeah. Are we ready to hear the talk now?
Great. We'll pop out of the way so everyone can see. I might come there because otherwise I might mess up yours.
The other day I told you about the center of Christ and the center of Sri Krishna and their relationship with each other. Now the last and the most important one within us is the center of Sahasrara, is the limbic area. When you enter into it, you become thoughtlessly aware. This is the area to be entered through the Kundalini, through the center of Christ, through the gate of Christ, and that's why it is written that you have to enter through Him. But not by somebody else saying, I am the Christ, or he's saying, I profess Christ, or Christ. This is not the way. Christ is within us, and when the Kundalini rises, if it stops at this center, you have to take His name. Not the people who are not realized, but realized people have to chant His name. Then only the Kundalini pierces through that center of Christ. That's the door, that's the gate He's talked about. And then you enter into the kingdom of God. Thou shalt inherit the kingdom of God. Inherit. That's your Father's kingdom, and that you have to inherit. But now the most important is the last center of Sahasrara, where you have all the 7 centers placed, one after another. These centers are really the seats of all the deities we have talked about. The seats are in the brain, their aura is around the heart, but they are actually sleeping in the sthanas, as they call the places of centers. So it is in 3 ways you can understand. One, in the brain there are 7 centers of the seats, and their auras are falling on the heart. Their places are in the center. At the first stage of the awakening of the Kundalini, only these deities get awakened. That means when you chant any word or you call them by name, they react. In the sense they open the chakras. You can feel it, you can see it clearly with your own eyes, the Kundalini rising through that. Then later on, when you grow more and more, these deities leave their places and occupy their seats. And even the spirit which is in the heart comes up here on the fontanelle bone area where there is the heart, seat of the heart center, which is the heart here organ goes there. But it is at a much later state. That state, that much later time, you can say much later state of your mind. You get into that speed in which you just achieve that state. It is an achievement. It cannot be a false certificate from somebody, or one can say this is written in the books or this and this, and there's no calculation like that. It has to mature in its living way, and you yourself will know that you have got now complete self-realization. First thing you get is thoughtless awareness. With this, you cross the gate of Christ. You can cure people, you can raise the Kundalini. You may also be able to give realization to people. But still, you are capable of falling out. Supposing somebody, a person comes with negative forces and fanaticism, he may encompass you and you may go down. But the second stage is called as the doubtless awareness. If you rise into that, then you have no doubts whatsoever. You never fall down. Maybe your Kundalini comes and goes and supplies, and sometimes you feel the catches, is all right. But after that, you are so sure of yourself and of your achievement, your self-realization, that you never fall off. But the last one is the very important thing, where many Sahaja Yogis also falter, is the integration. For example, if somebody is born a Christian, he is born. He could have been born a Hindu, he could have been born anything. He could have been a Muslim. Mostly I have seen one fanatic, like a Muslim, if he is a fanatic, he is born today as a fanatic Hindu or a fanatic Christian. These are all fanatics. They go from one swing to another swing and they profess. He'll have a Quran in his hand, this fellow will have Bible in his hand, the another will have Gita in his hand. Three of them are fighting. He says, I am correct, he says, I am correct, and he says, I am correct. Now what is the authority? Even of these books, people will ask, what is the authority of Bible? What is the authority of Gita? And what is the authority of Quran? They'll say, what is the authority of Old Testament? If they ask the authority, what is the answer? And you can ask, what is my authority? You must ask this question. In the beginning, people do ask, what is my authority? My authority is that I give you realization. And you ask a question, Mother, are you the authority? You get vibrations. This is my authority. Then you will understand why Bible is right, Quran is right, and Gita is right. Because of the narrow vision we have. Say we are born as a Christian, then we'll stick on to it. If you are Catholics, we'll be Protestants. If you are Protestant, will you become a Seventh-day Adventists, Pentecostalists, this, that, born again, this, that nonsense. We'll go on ending up like that in a Christian genealogy, from one madness to another madness, achieving nothing, believing into some sort of a theoretical thing, like Seventh-day Adventist. I can't understand. These theories and these things are not going to give you living experience, which is beyond rationality, which is beyond mind, which is baptism, the real sense of the word, where you get this breeze in the hand of the Holy Spirit. But we want to play about with these things with our narrow visions. Now see one case of Christ. Christ was definitely, as I told you, was Pranava, Onkara, everything was there, no doubt. But when he was born, there were signs and everything. Despite all that, there was a king who wanted to kill him. See the negativity. No intellectual accepted him. No bureaucrat accepted him. No educated person accepted him. He had to actually beg of those very ordinary, mediocre people, like fishermen, to come and become his disciple. See the situation. And he was allowed to live only for 4 years by these horrible people. They may be born today as Christians and must be saying, we are Christians and Christ and Christ and Christ. That's why Christ has said, I will not recognize you. They might be the people who might have crucified Christ. And they are again crucifying him by denying the living force of the living God. 4 years. Now what can you do in 4 years? I told you 4 years with all my powers. I was struggling with 6 hippies, giving them realization in London city. He never even thought of giving realization because he thought, first of all, they have no brains even to understand what is realization. Whatever he said it very precise and deep. If anything that is narrow has to be deep, which cannot go into the heads of people who just listen to sermons and lectures and read books and sort of have big theories built up into anything. It will only be possible when you get your realization, when you get your collective consciousness, when you become baptized, then only you will be able to see what he talked about. Before that, it's only mental activity, quarreling, fighting, and living on artificial things. How long are you going to do like that? Your forefathers did it, their forefathers did it, and their forefathers have done it. Now, is it not time for you to see that a new age has come?
I love the term Shri Mataji used, the new age has come, which is our current time now, where we're able to sit with people around us and be able to give realization, which you just did a moment ago. Quite good.
Shall we
go through the
go into that a bit more?
Sure, okay. So I'm just going to say we go through a little process called raising a kundalini and placing on a bandhan. This is the only exercise which you might remember from last week, Arjun. We did before meditation, and then you do it at the end of meditation. And by the time we finish today, maybe you'll find it a bit more easier to do it. So it's just for all the new people online as well. Your left hand comes in front of your body. And as Lynn mentioned, left side is the side of emotions. So that sort of stays not so active, but the right hand revolves around it. And you watch the left hand as it comes up to the top of your head. You tip your head up and we tie a knot. And we tie one for the first one. We're going to do that 3 times for the 3 channels that we have within us, the left, the right, and the center. 2 knots for the second one. And it will be 3 knots for the third. At the top of the head, nice and firm. And then we do the placing of the bandhan, which is literally the bond of protection. Again, we use our right hand, starting from the left, over the top of your head to the right and back. That's 1. And we have 7 chakras or centers within ourselves. So we'll do that 7 times. 3rd for the one on our stomach. 4th on our heart. 5th on our throat. 6th on our forehead. And 7th on top, the Sahasrara, which we have just awakened a moment ago. And this is something you can try and do at home in the evening, as well as if you wish in the morning. It's really useful. It's just clearing or balancing our left side or the right side, the blue channel or the yellow channel. So if you've had a very busy day at work and you've been rushed, you may notice that you're feeling a little bit edgy and anxious, then you need to release all of that out of your system. If you've had a slightly difficult day and you've found you were quite lethargic and not quite feeling up to doing things and feeling, gosh, no energy today, then you need to cleanse your left side. So those are the 2 extremes of a personality. Very easy to clean. So you sit comfortably wherever you are. We like to use the photo of Shri Mataji because, as she said in the talk, she is the authority because she's allowed us to have access to this self-realization and awaken a chakra. Her vibrations are exceptionally strong, so we use her to guide us. And there is a candle and it is lit, which helps us to calm our thought activity. So back to, I won't digress anymore. So back to cleansing or balancing, very easy. If you need to clear our left side, you keep that hand in your lap and you just drop the right hand towards the earth. As simple as that. While we do that, that is the action. While that happens, it is very easy to just ask the mothering energy, the Kundalini that has been awakened, to please take away all the obstructions from the left side and release them into the earth through the right hand. And while that happens, you can watch Shri Mataji's photograph, or you can just close your eyes. If you're feeling quite settled, you can close your eyes and take your attention to the top of your head. But if you feel that when you do close your eyes and you got thoughts everywhere and you're feeling quite unsettled, then you can open your eyes and watch the photograph. As Lynn said a little bit earlier, we'll let you decide how you wish to do this, whatever makes you comfortable. Mother Kundalini, please take away all the obstructions, all the heaviness from the left side, and please let it be released into the earth through the right hand. And it is quite interesting because now it's self-realization with awakening our Kundalini. You start to feel on your hands because each of the fingers on our hands correspond to the chakras within us. So you can feel the state of your being, your chakras on your fingertips, and that is what we're looking for. So if you feel any tingling sensation, any heat on either of your fingertips, it's telling you where there's a little obstruction or a weakness that needs to be worked at. But for now, we'll just keep it quite simple so that you get an idea of how to do it every day, at least for the next week. To come into balance, we clear the left side. And now to clear the right side, bring the right hand back on our lap, and the left hand just lift it up from the elbow on, facing to the back of the room. Attention is either on top of your head or you're watching Shri Mataji's photograph. Mother Kundalini, please take away all the excessive heat, all the rushing, planning, all my fears, and all the worries. Mother Kundalini, please take away all of this out of the right side into the air through the left hand. Mother Kundalini, please calm down my thoughts. Mother Kundalini, please calm down my fears. And at this point, if you feel a bit of heat coming out of your left hand, that's really good. That's just clearing the right side. If you feel a bit of cool on your right hand, the palm particularly, again, the Kundalini is indicating that it's clearing. Bring your left hand back on your lap. And this, if you feel a little bit of heavy on your forehead and you've been fretting about something and thinking, it's quite easy, as Lynn showed us earlier. We're just going to place our right hand on our forehead. Bit of pressure with your fingertips and the palm of your hand around your forehead. And we say this very simple affirmation: I forgive everyone. Shri Mataji, I forgive everyone. I forgive everyone. And now to continue with our cleansing, another really nice exercise you can try and do is to bring your right hand at the base of your spine in front of you and just raise your Kundalini a couple of times. Nice and slow, bring it up to the top of your head. Let's do that 2 more times. Raise your Kundalini. Say, Mother Kundalini, please rise. Mother Kundalini, please rise. Placing a hand, the right hand, on the top of your head, the soft part, the fontanelle bone, which is the 7th center, which we have just awakened. Bit of pressure. And here we're going to ask now, Mother Kundalini, please strengthen my self-realization. Mother Kundalini, please strengthen my self-realization. You can bring your hand back on your lap. So we've gone through a clearing process of clearing our left side, clearing our right side, raising a Kundalini. And now what we're going to try and do is have a very short meditation and try and be in thoughtless awareness. So we're going to have our attention on top of our head and try and not think. So when we say try and not think, if the thoughts come, which they do, let them come, let them go. And you keep your attention on top of your head. And Vara's got some very nice music lined up for us. So while we keep our attention on top, and just go through a short meditation, he's going to play the music to help us stay up here. If you find your attention slips down, which is normal, and it does happen, you can just raise it up through the central channel and bring it up at the top of your head. Slowly open our eyes and just see how you feel within yourself. If you think your thoughts have subsided and your mind is blank, that is being in thoughtless awareness. That is being in meditation, true meditation, where we are connected with this pervading power that looks after everything, but also it nourishes us, brings us in balance, and helps us to evolve. And you can feel that on your hands. Your hands may feel a little bit cool. And if there is a bit of heat, that's okay, because that's still going through the cleansing, clearing process. Let's just one more time, bring our right hand on the top of our head and see if you feel 4 inches up high, if you can feel cool, and you're looking for cool on your palm of your hand. Let's try that with the other hand as well. The reason why we try with both the hands is sometimes one side is clearer than the other one. So just lift it up a bit higher, Arjun. See how you feel. Great. You can bring your hand back down. Let's just finish this session by raising a Kundalini and placing our bandhan, which is the only exercise that we do in Sahaja Yoga, is this one. And it's easy done. 2 knots the second time, nice and slow. And 3 knots for the third time. Bring it up to the top of your head. That's important, to bring it up right to the top of your head. And then the bandhan, starting from the left, over the right and back. Let's do that 7 times for the 7 chakras within us. Hopefully that should bring all of us, also online viewers on YouTube and Zoom, into balance in a good state of stillness. It feels really good, yeah.
If anyone has any questions or anything they would like to share, feel free, here or online.
Everyone's happily meditating. Any questions here? If you have any questions, queries, don't be shy. It's okay to ask. Yeah?
I'll ask a question. So, Gulshan, you were saying about clearing.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the benefit of somebody who was perhaps here new tonight.
Yeah.
What do we mean by clearing?
Of course, and I'm glad you asked that, because sometimes we say these things and we know so well, but yes, clearing or cleaning ourselves is the 3 channels that we have within us, getting rid of all the unnecessary unpleasantness that we have accumulated through the day, whether it be through our thoughts, our fears, our worries, or what's in our surrounding. You pick those things up within yourself, emotionally, or as you do in communication with your people around you, your peers, and then they're within yourself in the chakras. We've cleared the people out, as in we've absorbed their unpleasantness and we've brought it into ourselves. Now it's time to release it from our subtle system so that it becomes shiny and clean again.
So I guess you're saying, Gulshan, that we don't need to take ownership of things we're suddenly feeling bad about.
Oh no, we're just absorbing
stuff in our environment
and release it out.
Or our own environment.
Yep.
And as a means of relieving ourselves of those things, which is nice.
And we're very lucky to have this gift again from Shri Mataji, that not only you pick up, you clean others, but then we can actually clean ourselves, which is really, really, so good. Because when you're stuck with something unpleasant here, it's really good to let it go. So that was what we did, the clearing, which was to clear the left, and then we cleared the right, and a short meditation to position ourselves at the right place.
That was a very nice
Yeah,
meditation.
yeah, that's nice for us all, as it is for everyone here. Yeah. If there are no questions,
Nice. Everyone's in a thoughtless state, which is highly good. And we'll see you next time. We did say that raising a Kundalini is probably the only exercise we have, but we do have a few other little techniques in our bag of tricks for when we're trying to relieve ourselves of the extremes of our day.
Yeah.
And it's just using the elements.
That's right. And it'd be nice to show them the water element, which is very nice again.
So we'll probably have some different presenters each week, but we'll press on them to maybe give everybody a footsoak.
Sure.
So in the coming week or weeks, we'll get that happening.
That would be very nice.
It's quite interesting using the water.
Yeah.
How relieving it is.
Yeah.
We've had that extreme day.
Or really, or a very slow day. It's still
or a slow day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, if it was a slow day, you'd be having some heating things.
Yeah, a warm water.
Yeah, or warm water.
Yeah.
But we do talk about those techniques on the WhatsApp groups if you're all in those. So that's what it is. It would really be good to show everyone. We'll get you all online to prepare yourself for the next time when we decide to do the foot soak. So we'll give you a heads up so you can get yourself a bucket ready.
Yeah.
So I guess we've all good things must come to an end, and look forward to the next. And it was nice to hear from you, Arjun, how good you felt when we're all together having the meditate, as opposed to the online meditation is also good, because if you have no other means of having a collective meditation, that's right. Really good.
Something's better than nothing.
It is.
However, if there is a collective around you,
if there's a possibility of coming here in person, we'd love to see you.
Yeah, if you're in Canberra, we would love to see you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to Lynn for the opportunity to be
with you
tonight.
Very nice.
It's very nice to do that.
Thank you, tech people. Let's leave you with a bit of music and carry on meditating for a bit.
Yeah, that flute was very, very nice.
It was very nice, I think. Yeah. See you all next week, hopefully.
Yeah.